Thank you for listening and welcome to the Life Radio Show, a proud member of the SJ Network and Breaking the Fourth Wall Entertainment. I'm your host, Don Smith. I had a great time chatting with Wendy Kok, an odd pronunciation of KOK for this show. Wendy is the author of A Great Resort and host of A Juicy Pear Podcast. If you enjoy the show, like and follow the Life 1069 on Facebook and Don Smith Comedy on Twitter, or tune in live on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can stream the show live at WWSU1069.org.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
This podcast is part of the SJ Network. Go to s-j-network.com for more great podcasts and for contact information on publicist Steve Joyner.
All right. Hey, welcome to the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith. We are zooming right along for another fun-filled adventure on the Life Radio Show. I'm not even going to talk a bunch up front with the stupid stuff that I normally regret saying afterward, except to say on this show, there will be no coverage of the royal family. I want to welcome my guest onto the show already, Wendy Kok from the A Juicy Pear Podcast. That's P-E-A-R, since my listeners usually know where my head goes. Welcome to the show, Wendy. How's it going?
Thank you so much. It's going great. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. So tell me about A Juicy Pear.
Well, A Juicy Pear Podcast. Our podcast started a few months ago, back in November. My friend Sean and I decided that, it'd be kind of fun to start a podcast. There was this, looming gray cloud over us, regarding the pandemic. And we just wanted, things to be, lighthearted and fun and storytelling and just kind of getting involved with other people's stories and things. And we thought it'd be a great idea, and we're having a great time with it. We kind of dive into like interpersonal relationships. Maybe if someone had an obstacle and found their way around it. We also love to talk about pop culture. We have artists, authors, psychics, entrepreneurs, free thinkers, musicians, ghost hunters. We're going to have a ghost hunter come on in a couple of weeks.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, and I think in April we're going to have a psychic come on. So yeah, we're having a lot of fun with it.
Nice. It is fun. It is fun. I've been doing it for a while, and it's still fun most of the time.
Yeah, it's fun, but it's a lot of work. I would like to do this primarily, do this and write. I also have another job. I work at the high school. I help kids out there. But yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes work to the show that I didn't realize. And, I go through Audacity and that and edit the show. And it's been a lot of fun though.
Yeah, that's good. As long as you're having fun with it. I started the podcast accidentally.
Okay. How did that happen?
Because I was doing the radio show for like a year by myself, and I brought on a co-host for my second year who had a podcast.
Okay.
So he started using my show as some of his podcast material. He would rebroadcast my show. So I didn't have to do any of the editing.
That's cool.
Which was really good, yeah. And unfortunately, as things often do, we had a falling out. And it went back to me just doing the show by myself. And then many of my guests were disappointed when they came on and there wasn't a podcast version. There wasn't a recorded version. It was just one and done live show. So yeah, out of guilt, I started doing a podcast as well.
Yeah. Well, good. I mean, at least you're doing it and you're having a lot of fun with it. And that's the most important thing. I mean, if you're doing something that you're not having any fun and you just hate doing it, it's not worth it, right?
Yeah, that's what the day job's for.
Yeah.
But when I first started, one of my big issues with editing, I think my first podcast episode, I was doing a big 2-hour long episode to start. And I started editing and I wanted to get all the ums and ahs out and wanted all the sound, everything to match and sound perfect. And I spent 8 hours and I had like 20 minutes done of the 2-hour show. And I thought, there is no way I will ever keep doing this if this is what it has to be. So my secret to editing is get done with the show. I put an intro on, put an outro on, put some stuff in the middle. I'm good to go.
Yeah, well, you don't want to like edit out every then it just doesn't sound,
it
sounds
doesn't
kind
sound
of robotic.
natural,
No, it doesn't. I mean, a few times here and there, but I mean, you can go crazy with the editing process. I mean, I mean, there's only so much time in the day that I have, so
oh yeah,
I get it
same here.
Yeah, I get it to the best, way it can be, and then I just have at it. I just have it go out into the ether, and hopefully, people are entertained and they enjoy it, and it comes through.
Yeah. Now you said you wanted to do this and write. What do you write?
Okay, well, I had a book that came out in summer of 2019. It's called A Gray Resort, and that was something that I worked on for many years, really. It took a long time, mainly because, I have 2 sets of twins. So, yeah. So I was in the throes of, changing diapers and child rearing, and, there really wasn't much else left to do except that. So, but after, they got older and more independent, then I came back to my writing, which I've always loved to write. When I was in high school, I wrote a lot. I wrote more short stories and poems and things like that, but I really wanted to write this book. It was on my mind. So, okay, so I grew up in a small northern town in Wisconsin, and it's about 4 hours north of Milwaukee, a town called Tomahawk, and great little town. And my parents had this summer resort on a lake, and we had a big pool. We had 8 cabins. They had a bunch of acreage out in the woods. I didn't realize how good I had it back then. Yeah, I don't have a place out on water now, no, but growing up, I did, and it was fantastic. It was during the 70s and 80s, it was a very carefree time, very different from today, right? So
yeah, a little bit.
yeah. So my parents loved to entertain. So they're gatherers. They just love to entertain groups of people. We would have neighbors come over. We would have, so we would have 8 cabins, okay? So on Saturday would be changeover day. So the people that stayed would leave, and then we'd get a new set of tenants in. My parents would let them settle in, and then she would go around to each cabin and say, hey, we're gonna have a picnic or get together later, and why don't you come on down and, come join us? And everyone would. And my dad would, we'd have a picnic table at every cabin, and he'd line up all the picnic tables right along the lake. And there'd be this huge amount of people. There would be people coming in from town. I mean, they heard about the picnics and gatherings that my parents would have, and they would come in, and my dad would be at the grill. He was the grill master. He would just, I mean, we never ran out of food, which is crazy to me. I mean, people would come like if they were hungry and stuff too, and we always had plenty of food, and there was entertainment. I mean, afterwards, my dad would get out the guitar. I mean, everybody gravitated towards him. He was just very charismatic person. And I remember that. It was just a very fun time. So I kind of incorporated that into the book. And they also had there was a lot of paranormal kind of things that happened out in the woods, and kind of the area is a little bit eerie, I feel. So I incorporated that into the book. So it's kind of starts off where a girl goes fishing one summer evening, and she gets the shock of her life, and the story just kind of transpires from there.
Sounds fun.
It is fun. I was so excited to get it out, and I've got like, a small group of people that are very excited to have the second book come out. I've gotten great reviews on Amazon from all different kinds of people, guys, girls, teenagers. They're like, it was hard to put this book down. I wanted to, keep turning the page, and that's exactly what I was going for. I didn't want to make, a cheesy romance that's all been done 100 different times. Right. And I wanted it to be very unique, and I think I've captured that. So, yeah.
Cool. Now, have you personally had any paranormal experiences? Not
I,
just at the lake, because that's something I've always been kind of fascinated by.
yeah, I have actually. So when I was little, I had a couple different things happen that, they say The Shining or whatever, and I did have that. With not going too much into detail, I would know if someone was going to die or not, and that's kind of in the beginning of my book. If you read it, you'll know right away. So that story is absolutely true, and it happened a few different times. And when you're a young person in your formative years, you're like, I was kind of scared. I didn't realize what was going on, and I didn't know why I knew about things that I just knew. And it took a few years, and I got with the right people, and they're like, this was kind of like a gift from God. It's nothing to be scared about. It's you have a special gift, and you can use it if you want. And so as I got older, I kind of closed the door on it because it can be overwhelming. But since I've written this book, and it seems like now it's happening again a little bit, and I have to decide whether I want to just close the door on it and ignore it, or basically it's just your intuition. Everybody really has it. You can tap into it if you want to.
Right.
Not everybody wants to do that.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's something I've been fascinated by, and I've tried to put myself in some weird places to where I might experience something, and nothing's happened. I've filmed in some extremely haunted locations.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
I filmed at what's the I can't remember the name of it right offhand, but it's not too far from Dayton there. It's Post Town Elementary School.
Okay.
And that other than being extremely creepy, didn't see anything there. I was once cast to film a movie at Bobby Mackey's Music World in northern Kentucky, which is also referred to as Hell's Gate.
Okay.
And we were going to be filming at night on location in what there have been books written about this place, other films about this place, and I was so looking forward to that.
Could you sense that there was something sort of kind of eerie evil there, or not really?
I didn't get to go to Bobby Mackey's.
Okay.
The film lost funding, and they ended up shooting somewhere else. They weren't
Okay.
able to actually get to that location, and they had to recast out in California, and I missed out. But Post Town, like I said, it was very creepy.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I didn't really sense any presence of any kind.
Right.
Just it was, there being that it was an elementary school in the disrepair that it was in some of the places we were filming, it was extremely creepy.
Yeah. I always thought it would be, yeah.
There's still art, there's still kids' art hanging on the walls.
Oh gosh.
And
that's creepy.
yeah, it was different. It was different. But
I always thought it'd be fun. You see these ghost hunter shows. I think it would be really fun to go on one of those, just kind of tag along. Actually, maybe not. Maybe I'd be the one standing outside of the house and just watch them go in and get attacked. I don't know.
Yeah, you'd be the one they'd have to double dog dare to get you to go ahead.
Right. No, my mom and dad, my mom, she definitely has a sixth sense. So there were a few things that happened. That was just, I don't know, maybe you could call it coincidence, but it was just sort of strange. So one time, okay, so during the wintertime, my sister and I, it's just my sister and I, she's younger than me, and we were sledding. And this was at a house that we lived in before we even owned the resort, but we had this huge hill, and it was just, at the bottom of the hill, way over to the right was this like tree, okay? So it wasn't even like, okay, so my mom, I was about to push my sister in a sled to go down the hill. And right before I did it, she comes out, she goes, "I don't want you pushing your sister." I'm like, "Why? We're playing out in the snow. What's the problem?" She's like, "Because if you do, you're gonna push her, and she's gonna, hit that tree over there, and the tree limb's gonna go up her nose, and she's gonna get a nosebleed, and I don't want to deal with nosebleeds." And I'm like, okay, Mom, yeah, right. Because the tree was way, way, way over in the corner. I mean, we're in the middle and I was pushing her and it was like straight sled line, you know? So I'm like, okay, yeah, Mom, whatever. And she's just like, okay. She went back in. So sure enough, I pushed my sister. The sled goes down the hill, you know, it's perfectly straight, and then just makes a sharp right, like, and goes right for the tree. The tree limb goes up my sister's nose, and guess what? She has a huge nosebleed. And I'm like, what? So she did stuff like that a lot, which is creepy.
So I guess the question you have to ask yourself as a kid there is Mom a witch, and did she make that happen?
I kind of thought she, well, she can't listen to this. Oh, goodness.
Okay, I won't tell her. But
Okay, I won't either.
See, now I did when I was a kid. My mom had made a cheesecake. She made really good cheesecake. It was sitting on top of the fridge, and she got in an argument with my brother about whether or not he could have any. And while they're yelling, while Mom is yelling at him that he can't have any cheesecake, it actually slid off the fridge and broke the dish, and everything just exploded in the sink.
Oh my goodness.
So I don't know if Mom was responsible for that happening.
Right. You gotta wonder though. You gotta wonder.
She wasn't.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, she's had some part in it. It's like something said, okay, I gotcha. I'll go ahead.
Yep. All right, no cheesecake. We're good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you gotta wonder about that kind of stuff. It's just strange. I don't know. But I believe there's stuff like that out there for sure.
Yeah, I want to. I just, I'm too much of a skeptic. And other than seeing weird stuff like that, which it's like, even as a kid, I thought there had to be something caused that.
Well, have you, like, what is your take on like UFOs and stuff like that? You probably are like, no.
I've never seen anything, and I've spent a lot of time camping out in the woods, and you would think,
yeah.
My brothers and I, we had like 10 acres up along the Miami River, way up north of here. That's very secluded, and I mean, I would think we would have seen something.
Right. Well, my mom did. My mom saw a UFO.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, she did, right in that area. And I know it sounds weird, but it was during. My dad was in Vietnam at the time, and she wanted to, pass the time a little bit, I guess. So she was going on a ride down a country road. She wanted to see the deer out in this field. They would come out in the field a lot. And she just kind of sat there watching the deer. And she said there was this light that at first she said it looked like a car was coming up over the hill, but she was just looking at it, and it wasn't a light. It came across in the middle of the field. It was actually like a machine. She saw it, and she got really scared, and it kind of landed in the field. And then there was like a beam of light that came across, and she's like, I got to get out of here. And before it could see, she took off. She went back. She got her mother-in-law, and they went back to the spot, and she's like, I saw this, I'm not kidding, I really did see something. And she called the police, and she said the police that evening had several calls, many, many calls of people that saw something similar. So I don't know.
So it could have been something.
It could have.
You see, I don't know that I can just dismiss it because I've not seen anything that would make me think that there is. So I guess I'm open-minded but skeptical at the same time.
Right. Well, you're going to see one now because of this conversation.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I'll invite them in. I'm out of vodka right now, but I mean, I'll go get some.
Well, then they won't come in.
I'll go get some for them. Is that what it takes?
I guess so.
I don't know if I was drunk on vodka and saw it. I don't know if I could say anything conclusively about it. I would have to blame it on the vodka at that point.
There you go.
Could have just been a neighbor and they looked like an alien. I don't.
There's a lot of those, so.
That's true. That's the thing. I might have, out in the woods all these years camping, I might have seen an alien, just thought it was somebody from the nearby town wandering through.
You never know.
Yeah, Piqua, Ohio is a weird place.
I hear that.
I guess it might have been an alien, might have been a Pickwinian, very similar. If it was a Pickwinian, they probably just got dropped off by the mothership. So.
Oh, gotcha.
So it could have been both. I don't know.
We'll go with that.
Well, I'll have to dig more into the history of Pickwood to see if it was founded by aliens. That could have been.
Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah, that could have. That's the mothership crashed right there in central Ohio, and central western Ohio, and they just built a city and said we'll call it Pickwood because nobody knows what the hell that means anyway.
Yeah.
So, have you seen any alien activity?
I haven't seen any alien activity. I've seen something kind of strange in the sky a few years ago, but I thought, that's kind of weird, but I didn't really think anything of it. I do believe in UFOs, though. I think there are things that just can't be explained. So I don't know.
I think that's why I want so much to see something, because I want there to be more mystery to life, because
right.
we get very bored. We get very bored without something mysterious out there.
Right. Have you ever seen the movie Fire in the Sky?
I think I have.
That's the guy. That's the one where the guy he got abducted by aliens. He was like they were a lumberjack in the woods, or there's a group of guys out in the woods, and it happens like in Arizona or whatever, northern Arizona, I guess. And yeah, so they saw this light or whatever. It's kind of creepy. It's kind of a creepy story, and it's supposedly true. It happened in, I think, Snowflake, Arizona, I think it was. It was an actual story, and this guy got captured, and he was like, I don't know, abducted for, I don't know, like a week, and they thought that the other guys in his crew murdered him or whatever, and but then they dropped him off or whatever, and and he kind of tells this tale about what happened to him. So
now I do have some friends who claim they were abducted years ago. I have
really?
one.
Not joking.
Not jokingly, this guy absolutely swears that he is. He does not drink. He has never done drugs. Completely straight-laced, but he swears he was abducted by a UFO.
No kidding. Like when he was a child, an adult?
Teenager.
Wow. Does he have like a special marking? They say sometimes you have like a little marking.
I didn't go that much into it with him.
Okay. So how did he ended up telling you? Just like some random comment or?
Well,
I got abducted by aliens one day, and
he's more of a friend of my brother than mine, but we all worked together at the same place for a while in my mid-20s, I think.
Okay.
And so I didn't talk to him a whole lot, but I had heard him telling stories, and it's like I never looked for markings, but apparently he has family members that also have been abducted.
Oh, wow.
At different times.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, that's.
I don't know.
So yeah, I don't know. There could be something special about his family where they're.
Bloodline or something. Yeah, I don't know. God, that's kind of creepy. I would like to you should have him on your show if he'd be willing to talk about it.
I don't know. I don't know if he would or not. Long story there with.
Yeah. It might be too like traumatic though too.
Yeah, Well, it's a long story with him and his wife and my wife and.
Gotcha.
Yeah, a lot of his ex-wife became friends with my now estranged wife, and it was a weird thing. So.
Yeah, say no more. I hear you. Relationships can be tough.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, you said you talk about interpersonal relationships on your show. I try to avoid that because I don't know anything about them. I've been married twice. I know nothing about interpersonal relationships.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Yeah, it's great because my co-host is divorced. I'm married. So we have, it's just really great. She's very analytical, very practical, pragmatic. And I'm more of the fly by the seat of your pants. I'm the one making the hard right turn or left turn, whatever. And we have, it's a good chemistry. It works out. It works really well for us. And
that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I hope we can, stay with it. They say like, some people get pod fade. Have you ever heard of that? Pod fade? Like after like the 15th episode or whatever. Oh, yeah. We're coming up on the 15th and we're going to have a lot more. So, but I'm like, okay, I just got to get past that.
Yep. This is going to be, now I've been doing a lot of throwbacks, so I've got more up there, but this episode's going to be 453.
Awesome.
I've had pod fade for 440 some episodes now.
Oh my gosh. So how do you come up with your topics? Does it just kind of strike you? And then you're like, you know what? Or do you just...
I don't usually have a topic. It's usually like I said, the first half of the show is usually whatever the guest wants to talk about. If they say
nice.
something that kind of triggers something that I want, like you started talking about paranormal, so we went that direction.
I think that's the best way to go, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, there is and this kind of goes into writing too. They say, are you a plotter or a pantser? And, a plotter is one, that just everything is outlined, I am not that way at all. I kind of sometimes, when I'm writing, I'll just go on and on and on and not even know really how the story's going to end until I actually, end it at that time. And I just feel like, I don't know, there's enough rules in life. If I went by every stinking rule that I had to go by in writing, I would not want to do it. I'd hate it.
Well, the fun thing about writing is you learn all the rules so you can break them properly.
Right.
As I talk about a pantser, I have finished one novella that I think is it's like 50-some thousand words.
Okay.
And I finished that in 20 days with no plotting. I sat down and started writing a thought, and it went a different direction. I followed it off on that tangent all the way to the end.
Good.
And then I wrote a novel of about 90-some thousand words in 30 days. And
good.
I have not edited them. They're sitting around collecting dust.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just going to ask you, you got to finish it so you can sell it on Amazon or whatnot, Barnes & Noble.
Yeah, I should. Well, probably what's going to happen is I'll go back through and start reading them, and I just get disgusted and throw it away.
Oh, gosh. You know what?
There's nothing I can do to save this.
Right. I love the writing process. That part, the free flow of it when you're creatively writing and just anything that comes into my mind, oh yeah, I'll add this. What I can't, and then I'll edit the first time. What I can't stand is going back through and editing again and again and again and again. And you have to do that to make it as clean as you can. And that's kind of the process where I'm at right now with my second book. So, and I hate it. I hate that part. It's like one of the worst. I have to get it to where it's going to go to a professional editor. So I have to even get it to where it's going to be ready for that.
Right.
So, where I want to put the chapters and stuff, that's hard. But it's fun. I'm super excited for my second book to come out. So because of this pandemic crap, I'm trying to decide when to have it come out, because who wants to do a book signing with a mask on? You can't hear each other.
Right.
So I'm hoping by fall. Things will get somewhat back to normal. What do you think? I don't know.
I'm hoping. I'm very hopeful that things will get hopefully sooner. Hopefully
by summer.
Yeah.
Let's get the bars and restaurants open to regular.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have some musician friends too. It's like, it's hard. You can't do really live shows anymore. You gotta. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, stand-up's definitely been.
Oh, I bet.
Well, I was gonna say funny, but it's been strange. Because even at Wiley's, we have the club open. We've been reopened since June. Okay. We closed down for a little over 3 months because of the pandemic, but we've been at like 30% for a while.
Okay.
We had a curfew to where we can't do a second show on Saturdays. So it's killing a lot of clubs. It's killing a lot of these venues.
They need to start opening things up, or there's not going to be anything to come back to.
Right. There won't be anything to open up because we've lost a lot of, just in the comedy world, there have been a lot of great comedy clubs that have been around for decades that have shut down during this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wiley's is hanging on because I always tell Wiley's is a survivor. It's it's been through. We were doing reduced capacity before the pandemic. That's what I was telling somebody. It's all these bars and restaurants that are used to being successful that are struggling right now. We're good. Funny. We're in our element.
Oh gosh. And it's got to be hard with comedy. nowadays too. I mean, everything is so, God, what's the word? I mean,
politically correct. Everything,
yeah,
everybody's
I
sensitive, but we have shows that push that for on purpose.
yeah.
We have one show, a local comedian, Travis Charles, puts on a show at the club every now and then that's called The Most Offensive Show on Earth. And one of the biggest complaints he gets about the show is it's not offensive enough.
It's not offensive enough, of course.
Because we put it out there that way, and it's like, oh, this better be good. And I have performed on that show one time, and it was an absolute blast, because that's, for comics, we can let loose and talk about whatever we want.
Oh, I bet you that makes you feel really good. Oh man.
It was so fun.
I bet. Fun.
All right. Well, I think we have to take a short break right now. Unfortunately, because we were rolling along, but yeah. We have to take a short break right now. When we come back, we're gonna hit some news stories with Wendy Kok. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Life Radio Show.
She said she was done. She said she was done with me. But the end was something I couldn't comprehend. Oh, see, sometimes you've got to take the bull by the horns and the monkey by its tail. The giraffe by its neck, and I don't know what you'd grab on a whale, but I do know this: she'll be back to me someday, 'cause I stole her insulin. My God, yeah, I stole her insulin. My Lord, well, she'll be sorry. She said it was over when she diabetic coma. Now she needs me in a way that science can't understand. Please take my hand, and I'll give you all the insulin. I've got your insulin.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Chris Verstali of Breaking the Fourth Wall. If you enjoy our show, you can find it on YouTube. Just look up Realm of the Mist Entertainment, or just look up Realm of the Mist Entertainment on Anchor.fm, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or wherever quality podcasts can be heard. And also, you can find us on all the social medias. Just look for Realm of the Mist Entertainment, and I will catch you on the other side.
Hey, this is Don Smith. I want to take a minute to tell you about The Devil's Apple, a new book by my friend William Morris. It's the true and brutally honest story about Bill's own battle with addiction. It was written for those struggling to overcome addiction, as well as those watching a loved one struggle. In Bill's own words, you work just as hard to be an addict as you do to be clean and sober. You can find The Devil's Apple on Amazon.com, and for a limited time you can get it for free on the Kindle app.
This house is a f***ing prison on planet bullshit. In the galaxy of this sucks camel dicks.
All right. Hey, welcome back to the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith. We are still zooming along with Wendy Kok from A Juicy Pear Podcast. Are you still hanging in there with us?
I am. I like the way you say that, A Juicy Pear Podcast.
It's the best. I know it sounds like it's very naughty, and it's
Well, you know what? When we were coming up with names, I had about 50 different names. And I'm like, okay, I got to run this by Sean, my co-host. And I was really hoping that she would pick it, and when it was in like the top 5 and I'm like, oh, good. And then she was like, you know what, let's just go with A Juicy Pear. I really like that. I'm like, oh, yay. Good. So, yeah.
Yeah. So you get a little double entendre there. Yeah.
That's right. So, we're kind of talking about shows and stuff. What are your favorite shows on Netflix or Amazon Prime, or do you even have time to watch anything?
I do get a little bit of time. One that I just absolutely love, and I'm about to rewatch it again, is What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh,
that's on Hulu, and it's a comedy. It's basically vampires that are living in Staten Island. All in there are 4 of them that live in a house together with their familiars, and it's set up kind of like a reality show, like a mock reality show, sort of like The Office.
Interesting.
It is super fun. It is fun. Definitely a TV MA. A lot of blood, but it is a hilarious show.
Cool.
It's got like 2. I think there are just 2 seasons right now, and I'm hoping for more. But it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. One show that I've been kind of watching a lot lately is that Leah Remini's show about Scientology, and that's on Netflix. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Some of these stories that she talks about, it's so mind-blowing. You have to wonder, is this really real? And how do they get away with what they do? You should check it out. It's kind of creepy.
Is it a series or?
It is a series. Yeah.
Okay. So I wasn't aware it was a series. I thought she did a documentary, but I didn't know it was a series.
Yeah. It's like the 2nd season, I believe. And so what she does is people that are not in Scientology anymore, have contacted her or whatever, and she kind of interviews them and says what's been going on. And I don't know, I don't want to say too much, but one of the Scientology hubs is in Clearwater, Florida, I believe. And
I believe it.
Clearwater, Florida, I mean, it's a little crazy.
I lived in Florida for about 1.5 years in my early 20s, and that whole state's crazy.
Yeah, that would be great to live in Florida. I would love the weather. Maybe not in the summer though.
Yeah, that was the worst part. I thought there was like 2 months out of the year that it was good.
Yeah, and the summer's way too hot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, Michigan's got great weather. It's just very unpredictable.
Same with Ohio. It's that's what we always say in Ohio. If you don't like the weather here, just wait 10 minutes.
Yeah, here too. But so I haven't been watching it a lot. Well, The Queen's Gambit was really good. I watched that. That's very good.
I'll have to check out the Scientology thing, because like I was saying during the break, the only thing I know about Scientology I learned from South Park, I
think you'll find it fascinating. She is really.
That's where I learned most of the stuff I know about the Mormons too. Most organized religions, I learned about it from South Park.
Oh boy.
It's cutting edge news right there. They
cutting edge, absolutely.
So well.
Hey, I think South Park is fun.
Oh yeah. I miss it. I've even watched the episodes that you can no longer find anywhere.
Oh, okay.
Before they remove them from everything.
Oh gosh.
And it's
that's sad.
Yeah, well, there's something about Muhammad that it's just yeah. So
oh boy.
Yeah, one of the things that always cracked me up is of course Chef Isaac Hayes. That's the reason he left South Park, the TV show, is because of the Scientology episode.
No kidding?
Yeah, because he was a Scientologist, and the first time it aired, he was okay, but when they decided to re-air it,
oh wow,
something happened, and he decided he couldn't be a part of it anymore.
Oh wow, yeah, so, they probably said, hey, look, you can't be a part of this. You need to get off the show. I bet.
Right.
Yeah, like you need to. Yeah.
Well, the way I don't know if you've ever watched the episodes where they kill Chef off.
Yeah.
Because they didn't just kill him off; they turned him into a predator and then threw him down, lit him on fire, and threw him down a cliff and had him eaten by a bear. So
yeah, I don't know.
That's an extreme way to leave a show, right?
I guess so. What can you say?
Anyway, should we get on to some news stories?
Yeah, let's get on to the news.
All right, let's see what we have. Let's see what fun stuff we have. Now, I can't always promise that these are going to be the best, but at least they're fresh. At least they're new news that
Brand spanking new. Let's hear it.
An employee at a dentist's office in California received a scare when a large turkey came crashing through a window and into the patient consultant area.
Oh my gosh.
Donna McDonald, which you got that name right. Donna McDonald, office manager at Gregory Haley DDS in Fair Oaks, said she was the only person in the building when she heard the crashing sound, and she initially thought it might be an earthquake. McDonald said she was shocked to see the cause of the ruckus was actually a turkey. Came in, cut the dental chairs.
Oh my goodness.
And we'll need some deep cleaning, McDonald told the Sacramento.
Deep cleaning. Because I got turkey poop all over.
Animal Control referred McDonald to Gold Country Wildlife Rescue, which sent someone to the scene to evict the turkey. Turkey evictions.
Oh my goodness. That is bizarre.
Pandemic. I thought there was a moratorium on evictions right now. I guess that does not extend to turkeys.
It doesn't, no.
Yeah, there was no wrangling this bird as an amateur.
Oh my gosh.
That's
craziness.
Lady kind of struggled with it, McDonald said. The wildlife rescue said the turkey did not appear to be seriously injured and will be released back into the wild to crash another dental office near you. Greg Grimm, a treasury of Gold Country Wildlife Rescue, said the turkey may have saw its own reflection in the window and attacked it, confusing it for a romantic rival amid the mating season for the bird. So it was turkey mating season.
Oh my goodness.
And you got to get your grill fixed. That's what,
That's craziness. Oh, wow. That'd be very scary.
It would definitely be unexpected.
Yes. At least
that would really be. I think animals flying through windows is always something that's unexpected.
I think so. Yeah, that would be
years ago. But one of the things I always used to love about the news stories that I did is every now and then I'd have a comedian on the show and he would take that and run with it. And there was a comedian that got an entire 5-minute set out of a story we did on the show together about a guy. It was in Florida, of course. That went through a Wendy's drive-through, and instead of paying for his soda, he threw a live alligator, like a 2 or 3 foot live alligator, through the window and drove off.
Gosh.
And as bad as that was, the same thing. I haven't looked up the story yet, but I guess there's a news story where somebody did it again at a Burger King.
Well, did they get their order wrong, or what the heck's going on? Why would you?
I guess they're thinking in South Florida, alligator is legal tender.
Apparently. Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I throw it right back at them.
It was an alligator skin wallet. It was just very fresh.
Oh my goodness.
Making that one.
That is so crazy. First of all, the alligator had to have been very tiny. I mean, throwing an alligator through.
Yeah, because the logistics of getting one through the drive-through window. Some people can't even get their change out of there,
I mean, can you imagine? I mean, it's just.
I don't think it could happen now because everybody's got the extra plexiglass up on the window. So I don't.
Yeah.
It'd be harder to do now, but in Florida, probably not, because I don't think they think COVID exists.
Think about the mindset of the person ordering, though. They got the alligator in their lap, and they're doing their order, and okay, I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna pull up here, and I mean, come on,
get the gator.
What's wrong with people? At least get your food and then take the alligator and throw it.
Right, exactly. That would make sense to me. You always got to get your food first.
Absolutely.
Before you toss your gator.
That is just craziness.
I'm going to write down before you toss your gator. That might be a episode title for us.
Before you toss your gator. That's a good line.
Yeah, this is how I develop episode titles for the show, is just whatever strange thing comes up. So there we go. Let's move forward from one reptile to another. Okay. A snake breeder who accidentally bred a ball python with the shape of 3 smiley face emojis on its body. How do you accidentally do that? Accidentally bred a ball python with the shape of 3 smiley face emojis on its body. Discuss this. I don't want to trigger you.
No, don't trigger me, please. Move on, please. Yes.
All right. Yeah, we'll go to it. We'll go to a different story because we don't want to. Let's see what else we got. This is one I saw the headline a while back, and I have not talked about it yet. It's probably going to. Are you a cat owner?
No.
Okay.
I'm allergic to cats. Otherwise, I probably would have one. Yeah, they're cool.
Well, yeah. I have no problem with cats, but I just don't want to upset any cat owners. A cat that went astray about 15 years ago has been reunited, older and maybe wiser, with its owner. Brandy, a brown tabby, was reunited Monday afternoon with Charles, who adopted her as a 2-month-old kitten in 2005. It's amazing. Can you imagine a kitten?
Right.
How are you going to know? Did they look at her dental records? I mean, how is this?
I don't know how you would 100% know that was your cat from 15 years ago, but
he said, I saw her, I picked her.
It's the same color. I don't know.
Yep, it's got to be mine. She started to purr, and it was very emotional, Charles said. It was nice to have her in my arms again. I did break down and cry because I thought about all the years I lost from her, he said. Brandy was found Sunday in Palmdale, about 40 miles from where Charles lived, in San Fernando Valley area of Los Angeles. The computer technician who didn't want his last name used said Brandy strayed only a few months after he adopted her. That's what I'm saying. How would you know?
Yeah, that's strange. I don't know. Maybe it makes them happy, and
more power to them. That's
right.
Great, but this cat's probably like, who is this?
It feeds me and it's hugging me, so I'll stay a while.
I'm just gonna act like everything's, because you know how cats are. They're gonna do
I know.
They have their own,
until it runs away again. What if it runs away again?
Right. Another 15 years, he's gonna.
There you go.
Cat that looks like her and say, "There she is again." This cat has followed this man his entire life. The oldest cat in the history of felinedom.
Oh goodness.
Has followed this man around every 15 years, popping. It's like a cicada cat. He's got a 15-year cicada cat.
Oh my gosh.
Burrows into the ground for 15 years.
You know what? It's a good story. So let's just we'll pretend it's true. It's a good feel-good story.
Yes, so, congratulations, Charles and Brandy. It's so nice that you're reunited again. Even whoever's cat that is.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. So sometimes you have to wonder. I mean, it is a lovely story if it's true, and we'll just pretend.
Yeah.
It'll be good either way.
Well, we won't tell anybody. It happened. It's true.
Right. There you go. There you go. We have an alien abduction story.
Oh, ooh.
Well,
I like
it's a psychiatrist talking about it. I don't know how much. Let's just read into it and see what it is. Stories about alleged alien abductions have been a staple of modern culture for decades, but were generally disregarded by science until the 1990s. That's when prominent Harvard psychiatrist Dr. John Mack began his own investigation, one that ended in a fight. And break things up.
Right. Good.
That's
Cool heads prevail. I mean, it's like, come on.
Yeah. How are you a teacher and you can't? Because I mean, it was only a few minutes. He was in there by himself. I don't
Goodness gracious.
be a teacher.
Hot-headed? I don't know. That is crazy.
I mean, I've met some teachers that got in my face, but you know, I usually pushed them as far as I could before that happened.
You? Boy, I find that really hard to believe.
I know. I'm not a smart ass or anything. I don't know.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I never had those. I won't say I never had those teachers. I had some that I know wanted to grab me by the throat and throw me against a wall.
I had, when we went to a Catholic school, my sister got slapped by a nun and she gave her a nosebleed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now, I did accidentally punch a teacher in the face once.
Accidentally.
Well, I was swinging.
Accidentally on purpose.
I was swinging at somebody else. The teacher stepped in.
Ooh.
And it was too late to stop it.
Uh-oh, gotcha.
I thought, I'm done for this time.
Oh boy.
Actually, that teacher was one of my favorite English teachers.
Oh,
I
gosh.
was a favorite student of his.
Of course.
He knew what happened.
Okay.
He knew the other kid that punch was meant for and pretty much knew he deserved it. And nothing was ever said about me and the kid fighting or me punching him.
Oh, wow. He was really cool.
The only thing he ever said is he looked at me like a day or so later and he said, you know, sometimes I stick my face in places where I shouldn't.
He sounds like a really cool teacher.
He was one of my favorites for a reason. He was a wonderful guy. Wonderful teacher. Good friend.
Nice.
Yeah.
What subject did he teach? Or was it, what subject did he teach, or was it like elementary?
He was my English teacher.
English, okay.
It was, I think I was 8th grade, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, he was my English teacher. Really good guy.
Sounds like it.
Actually, he's one of the reasons I finished my English degree.
There you go. Oh, yeah. Awesome.
I never actually taught because I would have been the substitute teacher with my hands around a kid's throat, probably.
You know what's kind of cool though? Sometimes it just takes one person, even just like, one person to just boost you up and put you in a better place.
Oh, yeah.
And get you to where you need to go. It doesn't take a whole bunch of people, just one person that really truly believes in you and you feel that. And I think that's great.
Yeah. Well, I think we are done with the news. I'm going to give you a couple minutes right now. If you have any social media you want to throw out there, and of course, promote your website again, promote your podcast, A Juicy Pear, promote A Juicy Pear for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So our website is called A Juicy Pear Podcast.com. You can download it right from your phone. You can listen to our episode and please subscribe. I also have a website for my author page. It's wendymkokauthor.com, and it just tells a little bit more about me, what I, just kind of movies I like and things like that, and different events coming up and what's going on with my second book. And on Instagram, you can find me at Wendy Kok 4, like the number 4. And we have a YouTube channel as well. It's just called A Juicy Pear. And I think that's we have a Facebook group called A Juicy Pear Podcast, and I have a author group, Wendy M. Kok Author, on Facebook. So you can find us there.
All right. It was great talking to you. I appreciate you being on the show.
I had so much fun with you. Thank you for having me on.
Good. No problem. It was a pleasure. I was trying to figure out what that weird distorted noise was. Every now and then I'd start talking and I'd hear something. So I wasn't sure if it was something paranormal or not.
Yeah, I wish it was, but I don't think so. I think it was my daughter opening the bottom of the freezer here. She came up to get a popsicle. Maybe it was that.
Okay, that's fine. We
got 4 teenagers. What can you say?
We are no strangers to popsicles.
Oh, you know what? My one teenager just came home, and the dogs are barking.
All right, well, this is a perfect time to say goodnight. Thanks for listening to the Life Radio Show. Like I keep telling you guys, if you're going to keep listening to me, I'm just going to keep doing these. All right. Have a great night. Thanks for listening to the Life Radio Show podcast. Check it out wherever you listen to podcasts. Remember, if you want to listen live, we are on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM. You can also stream the show live at wwsu1069.org, and we go Facebook Live at the Life Radio Show's Facebook page. If you have suggestions or comments, feel free to email thelife1069@gmail.com.
Presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
The turkey.